Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and today we will begin in the corridor of bone, where I decided to give it a normal floor and just use bone block as the center stripe for it. And I think this looks a lot better than what I had before. I still need to decide the exact point of the interface change between the bone and the spruce, but overall I am much more satisfied with this than what I had at the last episode. So now that means we could head into the nether and see what my plans are for a nether hub. Now, why would someone living in a cul-de-sac want to build a nether hub? Ooh, just for giggles and to see whether or not I can actually do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to tear down these walls, build a floor, and put a wall over it, and that'll be my foundation to start with, and then I could do the detailing after that, because I want a nice safe place to do the detailing. What we're going to do is we're going to have sections to this. We'll have the stuff near the nether portal itself, which will be the first 3 blocks, and block 4 will be our division between that first and second section. Then we'll have a section 16 blocks long, and that's going to be the main area, and that's going to be the main area for decoration. Of course, 1 for each element, after all, since that's my theme, and then 4 more to the end, and after that we'll have the wall. So we'll have 32 blocks in each direction from the nether portal. So that's where it's going to go down that way. And I've already laid down some floor over here to show what I plan to do in those 2 directions. And I will then go down here this way. So therefore I have each of the areas all nice and laid out. And the reason why this one is shorter than the others is because we have a first section that's inside there. So now what I need to do is to lay out more flooring and try to cover up as much as this area as I'm able to. And here we have it, all covered up with slabs all around except for where we have the tunnel. And we have this little square here, the first boundary that goes all around the nether portal itself, and then has these lines extending from there. And from there we'll have our quadrants where we'll have our main decoration. So that's what we have there. I've also put up a temporary ceiling on this side. Part of it's already existing since we have a ceiling over there, so I didn't have to worry about much on that side. On here though, I still have a bit more to get up so that I can be nice and covered up when I work here. Hopefully to reduce the number of pigmen that get into the area, because right now this is a magnet for pigmen, so we want to be able to get rid of them in the long term. So let me finish up with the temporary ceiling, and then we can get around to removing this tunnel down to that point and actually start building the hub. The ceiling is now complete and no more pigmen on the inside, so I hear some outside. And I also added an outer square, so therefore I have 16 white tiles between each of the gray ones. And that goes all the way around, and these will be my 4 main areas. And now it is time to bring this down. My little shelter to go away and be turned into something new. And I suppose I'll have to get that like that. And also to get rid of that floor in that area. Now, I'm not going to bring down the nether portal. The nether portal is going to stay as it is at the moment. I will have... Oh, no, don't take down the nether portal. Let's see, we want that there. And we want that there. Now to bring out the axe in order to bring down the rest. Actually, let's throw a little bit of that in there. I may need that later. Let's go and... That'll do for now. Let's chop up some wood. That we'll worry about later. And more to do. And here we have it. Now I have the floor all done. I have a preliminary ceiling, even though of course that will be replaced by something that's both higher, prettier, and more secure. And of course the same thing will be true with the walls. I'll eventually have a real wall going all over the place, except of course where I have the part that goes out to the portals. Actually, I think what I want to do is to take these. Oops. What I want to do here is to do this so that the stone brick then goes along with what we have there. Then I could put this here. Yeah, and I'll do that at each of the 4 sides. Right now, though, what I want to do is to do the floor patterns, because each of these right now are just the basic white block area, and I want to turn this into a pattern for each of the 4 elements. So this one will be for fire, this will be for earth, water, and then air. So what I've done is I've put the corresponding banners on each of these to give me a reference so I remember what the shape is supposed to be. And for fire, that is going to be the diamond shape. So therefore I'm going to get a diamond shape that is going to go right here. Now I've got 15 by 15. Yeah, 15 by 15. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this should be the center. And in here I'm going to put my first nether brick. Actually, what might be good would be try red nether brick. Let me switch that out and double check my measurements, then I can get on building the diamond. Note to self, there is no such thing as red nether brick slabs, so therefore I'll have to settle for regular nether brick slabs. But I need a diamond shape here, so that's the center of the diamond, and I put the 4 points over there, the 4 corners. And this one is going to be fairly straightforward to make because I have slabs, so I don't have to do anything strange with the floor, just build it, which is nice. And it's a straightforward shape. So when I start getting to the triangle for earth or the circle for air, that things are going to get a little bit tricky on the measurement side. And there are also going to be cases with water where, yeah, it's a nice easy square, but I do have to do tricks in order to keep things from being spawnable, since I'm not going to have slabs in my block of choice. So always a little bit something tricky in most of them. Fire is probably the least tricky of the lot. So this one should be done quickly. For air, I'll have to be very careful so that the circle for the air looks very distinct from this over here. Yeah. For air, we're going to need something white and something that has slabs in it. And that will, of course, be quartz. And with all the stuff I've been doing in the nether, quartz shouldn't be too much of a problem for me. I know there have been many times where I've been playing where quartz was a very, let's say, a very rare commodity. But I do have a reasonable amount from all the time I've been digging in the nether, all those tunnels. That left me with a decent amount of quartz. Now, what I'm going to be doing here is to be building a circle, since a white circle is the proper designation for air. And I'm using this cross here as my starting point so that I can make sure that I don't get anything wrong in the process. And what I need here is, oops, what I don't need is to cut that down too far, and then one more of these. The idea here then is, let's see, we've got two, alright, that's the top, that's row 2, that's row 3. Alright, so the next of them are all going to be aligned with that. Okay, that's good, because that is what I'm expecting. And there we go. And I just need 4 more quadrants. And there is our air. So we have fire, air. Now we have to figure out earth and water. For earth, we'll be needing a round triangle. And what is brown and comes in slabs? First thing I could think of was spruce. And of course, I live on a mega taiga, so therefore spruce is definitely one commodity that I'm not going to have any trouble on getting. So therefore, I will be building a spruce triangle all the way up here. Now, I can't get a perfect equilateral triangle, so therefore I have to settle for an isosceles triangle. That's going to be reasonably close to a equilateral triangle, but it won't be perfect. Now, those were my measurement points that I was using in preparing this. And what I'm doing is I'm going to have the base by itself and then go in 2 for each step up, and I think that will give me the size I want, right? Because that'll be 3, 3, 2, 2, right? Because that'll be 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Yeah, that'll be exactly what I'm looking for. And the result is spectacularly ugly. So what I'm going to do in its stead is to try to have it so that I have even size like this and like that. But that will, of course, obviously take care of any hope of an equilateral looking triangle. And instead, I'm going to have something that, well, we'll see how it looks. Not exactly what I call perfect, but a little bit more like a mountain than a triangle. But then, since we're talking about an earth symbol, I'll let that pass. So that leaves our old friend, water. And for water, I cannot think of a single block that has slabs in it and that is green. So therefore, I have to do something a little bit different for my water area. For water, we're going to have to use prismarine. Now, you may be wondering, how are we going to handle the problem that prismarine would be a spawnable location since there aren't any prismarine slabs? Yes, and you also notice that I put this one extra down, and that is because we are going to add on top of it green glass. So therefore we'll have prismarine, and on top of that green glass. Alright, now since green is the color for it, I'm going to leave it at that, even though I think maybe cyan would have been a better perfect match color there, but since the color for water in the temple is green, I will stick with the green for this build. So let's cut out the full square here. And we're going to, of course, do that all the way through here. Preferably without losing everything. Now, in addition to this, I will also add a couple locations. Oh, yes, right, because that's the top thing. There's one down and there's two down. Yeah, I have to go two down from there. And add prismarine there, except for the places that are two away. For that, I'm going to add a little light for some sea lanterns, so that we have a little light to add on top of this. So let's see what it looks like. As I mentioned earlier, do work in the nether and you run into quartz. This will help to make up for the quartz that I spent in doing the air circle. Good, how much did I get out of that? 48, not too bad. Let's close that back up. And once that's done, we can then get around to placing our... Well, first let's place the lanterns in there. And now we could place the prismarine all the way through. And this, I hope, well, once we get the glass on top of it, give the effect that I'm looking for. And in this case, it's not too bad having to use the glass in order to prevent mob spawns, because because let's face it, water is a bit on the translucent side anyway. So therefore, having to use a translucent block on top of the prismarine, I think is fitting on it. You can almost think of the prismarine maybe as actually the bed, and that the glass itself could be representing the actual... If I left that as... yeah, I don't want to leave that as... Good thing I caught that. Because that would look really bad if someone looked along the side and just saw netherrack all through that. Will sort of kill the believability that this is representing a pool of some sort. Good, and now let's throw this in. Actually, yeah. We don't put the sea lanterns on the floor, we put the sea lanterns here. How about at 3 away from there, 3 away from this? I like that a lot better. Good thing I noticed that in time. Good, because that I think, yeah, I like that much better than what I had before. That way I could keep my square pattern on my floor with the prismarine. Good. All the way around. There. There. Good. And now just add glass. And I should be set. I like it. I think that works out pretty well. Too bad I don't have any good lighting on the others. And there you have it. Fire, earth, water, and air, which make up my 4 elements for my floor pattern. And that means next we just need to worry about the walls and what I'm going to do with that. And I think that will be saved for our next episode when we return with Piney Plays Welstopia.